Hello, everyone. Good morning. We have such a special power hour this morning. When I came here, I said, Lindsay, you got to promise me that you're going to love on my team, help us win. And she's exceeded my expectations a millionfold. Then comes Sarah. So I knew Sarah from her former project and my former project, and I've always looked up to her. But it wasn't until I got here till I saw who she was as a human being. And then I realized, oh my gosh, we are in rooms with greatness. So Sarah is an incredible presidential diamond here. She is based out of Utah with her beautiful family. She's got 2 teenage kids, and she's just great. She shows up and she's here for us. I'd love for you to put in the chat all the love for her, but I'm going to hand it over to her because she's going to do some really exceptional training for us on social media, which, as we all know, we could all use some incredible social media training. Let me make you co-host, Sarah, and off you go. So welcome, Sarah. We're so honored that you're here with us this morning.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Paige. I was just saying to some of you who were jumping on this morning, I just got done with the 7 a.m. power hour. So watch out because I'm kind of on fire this morning. So I'm going to bring some heat. Are you guys ready for some heat today? Yes, thumbs up. Yes, everybody's like, yes, I'm ready for the heat. It's Monday morning. It's close to the end of the month. And I just want to say first, that it has been my honor and privilege to work with Lindsay Elmore. Lindsay and I got a chance to start our businesses together on the very same day, and we have been running together ever since. And it's so fun to not only call her such an amazing mentor, but also a friend of mine. So Linz, love you to pieces, girl. And it's
love you too, Sarah.
Yeah, it's an honor to be on this call this morning because, as Paige said, we got a chance to know each other a little bit in our last project, as she called it. But I have been so impressed at everything you've done, Paige, since you've been here. Your leadership is exceptional. You're an amazing human being. I love you and your husband together as a couple, and you've built this just amazing team that we are all so grateful to be in the space of their presence. So just want to say a huge hats off to you, and I'm excited because you're going to be our next diamond, which is so dang fun, right?
Guess what? I can tell you for certainty in November, I'm going to be diamond.
And will be the first diamond in the state of Louisiana.
Woo! Yes, I love it so much. And what that does for the rest of you is paves the way, right? It paves the way for just a trail of additional diamonds. I mean, Courtney can't even sit still. I can see it. Like she's about ready to jump out of her chair. Like, yes, pick me. I want to be a diamond. Jessica's been dreaming about diamond, right? It's coming. It's all of you are dreaming about it. So many beautiful faces this morning. So what I thought I would do today, I mean, you guys get exceptional training. Like we have Tuesday nights, you've got access to Lindsay, access to Paige. Both of them have an absorbent amount of years in the industry where you've got access to ridiculous knowledge, which is so cool. So I hope that maybe something I share this morning will give you some extra life or direction. I have had an incredible opportunity this last week to attend a 6-day intensive social media course, along with going to an event over the weekend, which was called Network Marketing Breakthroughs. And I also got a chance to learn from another coach in the social social selling industry, who gave some additional tips that gave me more direction on what I learned last week. So I thought, if you guys are cool, I would share the biggest takeaways that I got that are shifting social media for my personal enrollments. So not only for me personally, but also for my personal enrollments, the biggest sticking point for them has been determining their niche. Like, what is their message? How do they do social media if they don't know who they are and who they're speaking to? So I'm not going to teach you about finding your niche, but I am going to give you just some overall basics. And then if you need to, you can reach out to me and I'll certainly help you. Lindsay can help you, Paige can help you, obviously. But just let me give you some quick overalls on social media in general. And then Linz, you obviously pipe up too, because you are obviously a huge influencer in social media. And if you disagree, you know, feel free to shoot it out here. This is what I learned. And these tips are coming from classes that these social media experts have just been to with larger social media experts. So as you guys know, algorithms change almost on the weekly. They're always shifting. So what we thought was right to do yesterday is probably not right to do in the next week or the next month. So again, these might blow your mind. They kind of blew my mind, actually. And so I'm excited to share it with you. But just overall, your goal on social media is not to sell or recruit initially. It's to build a bigger audience, right? That's what you're trying to do, is build an audience, build followers. What they're telling us is 9 out of 10 interactions that you post, whether that's a story, a live, a post, a carousel, a reel, must be value driven. 1 can be about your opportunity or your product. So 9 out of 10 value. You see Lindsay do it all the time. She's a really good example of it. 9 out of 10 value. 1 can be about your products or your opportunity. She said maybe 2 if you're on a sale week. But other than that, 1. And I'm like, whoa, that's different, because I see people all the time sell, right? But the reality is social media is storytelling, not selling. Storytelling, not selling. So what story are you telling based on the niche that you've developed? Okay. So then just a couple of other quick points overall that I see big mistakes being made is making sure that you're using your personal page, unless, like Lindsay, I think you have a professional page, but a little bit or a business page, a little bit different. Lindsay's like a whole different personality, right? But for the rest of us who maybe don't have the pharmaceutical background or some kind of professional background like that, you're building on your personal page. So your personal brand is what you're building. And then make sure that your accounts are both public. You guys, I told you guys this in probably one other meeting. For a year and a half, my accounts were not public. I don't know what the heck I was thinking. I thought they were, and I checked it, they weren't. So I don't know how I built a presidential diamond on a private setting, but I did. So I guess you can do it, but do it on public because it's so much easier. And then make sure both your accounts are set to professional mode so that you can see the statistics in the background. So you can check the stats on your posts. You aren't going to know what's performing unless you have that professional dashboard. So if you don't know how to do it, you guys, everything I'm telling you can be Googled or it can be typed into AI and you can figure it out, just so you know. So be really super resourceful, and you can always ask all of us, but you guys, I find everything on like a YouTube video, Google, whatever, you can find it super easy. And then before you jump on your social media accounts for the day, instead of doing excessive scrolling, because we all do it, we get stuck in the TikTok mindset, we get stuck on Facebook or Reels. I mean, I did it the other night, 1 hour and 40 minutes went by and I looked up and it was midnight. And I'm like, crap, I need to get to bed. What am I doing? This is so dumb. He said, ask yourself, what is my intent before I click on a social media app? Is it to post? Is it to respond? Is it to wish somebody a happy birthday or happy anniversary? Or is it just to excessively scroll for no reason? Because all you'll do is shop and spend money, right? Like, I mean, anybody buy anything on TikTok or Facebook in the last week? Oh yeah, me, for sure, me. I bought 2 pairs of shoes, I bought a dress. I mean, oh, for God, right? The stuff we get stuck in. Okay, and then the last thing, just so you know, the average person, kind of that goes along with this last statement, clicks on social media. Are you ready for this? It's gross, because if you look at the number of hours you spend on social in a week on your phone, it's so scary when you see that, right? 62 times a day, they click on social media apps. Yeah, Courtney's mouth is open. Gross. And you know what? We're doing it. We're part of the 62 times a day. So think about that. And then think through your social media content. If you've got people clicking on social 62 times a day, how are you grabbing their attention? How are you the person that they think about? So let's talk about your posting strategy first, the most important thing. So this is brand new to me, and I'm going to dig into it through each little topic. The first thing I'm going to tell you is don't do stories every day. Right here. I was like, what now? Wait, what? Because a lot of the people I follow do 20, 30 series. They might do 10 posts a day, and there's like stories forever long. But I'm going to dig into that, and I'm going to tell you why in just a few minutes. And then your carousel, color block, impact, whatever, lives, that kind of thing, you can do every other day. Okay, so your stories are going to be every other day. Your carousel posts or any other kind of post is going to be on the opposite day. So every other day you're doing stories and or a post, right? And then you're doing TikTok daily. Now you can do multiple TikToks, but if you're, I know, look at Debbie's like, gross. Yeah, well, I haven't been a TikTok fan either, but I'm about ready to get serious, right? Because it's where people are growing. And if you look at our top enrollers, guess where they're enrolling? TikTok. And some of those girls like Tiffany, you can see, I think she's #1 on Path to Paradise right now. She's at 480 enrollments this month, you guys, off TikTok. It just makes your head explode. But guess what? You can be the person. You could be the person. Last week, we have a gal, I think it's, I cannot remember her name. Lindsay and I used to work with her at Young Living. She had about 20 followers on TikTok. She did 1 like body shaming post. She showed her stomach and her legs and, you know, not the flattering pictures that you would want to see on TikTok, and talked about ways to really improve your thoughts around your body, right? She went to 200,000 followers in a week. So I'm just telling you, there's so much power if we can get this stuff right, and you could be the next person. She didn't think she was going to be the person. In fact, she almost quit because she couldn't get traction, but she stayed consistent, and one video went crazy. So, okay, so let's dig into a couple of quick things. Your highest performing interactions on social media are not going to be written posts. However, Instagram is starting to put more priority on both carousel posts and reels. So think about that. Carousel posts, which means that you're just posting a series of, like, say, 3 to 6 pictures. It can be up to 10, but just so they're flipping. When you share that over to Facebook, if you're sharing from Instagram to Facebook, it's just going to show up like a collection of pictures, and that's okay. That's a carousel post for Facebook. But just understand that your short form video, so your reels and your carousel posts, are going to be your biggest performers, as well as, of course, your TikToks. Okay. So let's talk first about niche for a couple of seconds. This is where everybody seems to get hung up. And I'm just going to give you one statement to fill in. You can work on this in your off time. But last week I worked with my personal enrollments for 6 straight days. And this was the single hardest thing we did all week. Once we got niches in our, like, the right kind of niche and kind of got this dialed in, people were like getting going on social media content because they had direction, right? So this sort of sets the intent, or the, I would call it sort of the destination for your journey. So think about it that way. Let's see here. So with your niche, the statement is this: I help blank. Okay, so I help blank. So who do you help? Who's your person? Do blank. So what are you helping them do? Through what? So I help blank do what through what? Okay. So I want to give you all, I'll tell you what mine is after going through this with 2 social media coaches last week. Mine is this: I help women recover from burnout, boost longevity through toxin-free living, and build an income through high profit affiliate marketing. So I'm trying to talk to women that are 40 and 50 that are dealing with age-related issues, right? Age backwards, that's my goal. Get people out of toxins, because my whole story starts 18 years ago with my son being diagnosed with asthma, and all I did was remove toxins from the household, and he's never had asthma since, right? So that's part of my story. And I'm also helping people build a business through high profit affiliate marketing. So I wanted to do all 3. So again, it's I help who do you help, do what, through what. And if you have the professional dashboard on Instagram or Facebook, you can see who is looking at your content. Most likely it's majority women. Mine is like 82% women and some guys, right? And so my audience is women, and it will give you the age breakdown of who your market is. So you don't have to say, well, no, I'm passionate about marketing to 20-year-olds. Well, guess what? That's not who's watching your content, right? Or maybe you are 20 and that is who's watching your content. So you have to market to your right person. So definitely look at your dashboards and find out who your person is that you're marketing to. So when you're writing your niche, you can sort of go, okay, cool. I think this is gonna like speak to it. I had to back into mine a little bit. Just truth be told, I've struggled with this for probably close to 2 years since I've been here. And I really, because my social isn't really super prevalent, because I couldn't get this nailed down, and I always felt like I was all over the place. So I backed into it and started thinking about, what am I, if I wanted to really do something for humanity, if I really wanted to do something for people, what would I want to talk about? What could I educate people on and give value on every day that I wouldn't get bored and that I wouldn't run out of content? Well, I can talk about age-related stuff all day long because it's happening to me, right? I just have gone through perimenopause, menopause, and now I'm in post-menopause at 50, right? That's a lot of stuff, friends, to go through. So for those of you who haven't gone through it, it's coming, right? But I can talk about all of those. I can talk about all the things I'm doing to age backwards, right? I can talk about how healthy my family is, because our whole goal in life is to live toxin-free. We're crazy about it in our house, right? And I can talk about affiliate marketing all day long because I've replaced a corporate income. So what can you talk about? What gets you excited? It might be something totally different. I'll give you Amanda Cooper, for instance. Her big deal is being a homeschooling mama. So her thing, her audience, her niche audience is homeschooling moms. Well, that's not my jam. I sent my kids straight to a public school so I didn't have to deal all day, right? That's a whole different jam for me. So she's not going to be speaking to me, but her audience is definitely there. Lindsay's audience is completely different. Paige's audience is completely different. And your audience is okay. Whatever you choose, whatever you're passionate about, is what your audience is going to want to hear, right? So think about that. They really do want to hear what you have to say. Okay, I had one person on my team that struggled all week because, listen, her life is chaos. Anybody relate? Does anybody have chaos in their life? Her life is upside down, and I won't share with you who it is, but I don't think she would mind if I share with you that she deals with addiction in her family, not herself. And it's radical, you guys. It's really, really hard. If you've ever been in an addictive household, whether it's drugs or alcohol, you understand what addiction can do to a family. She has 3 kids, all teenagers, all in sports. She works about 70 hours a week managing a orthodontic office. She has lost all her confidence. Her business has gone backwards over the last year, and she just doesn't even know what to talk about. And she's like, my life is so chaotic, I can barely get on a call. And so of course your heart goes out to her, right? And she had to write a niche. Well, she's like, I can't help anybody because right now I can't even help myself. And I said, okay, let's change it around then. Let's start talking about, I'm on a journey too. I'm on a journey too. So what am I experiencing right now? Help women, get out of burnout and stress, right? And then while doing what? And hers could be while building high profit affiliate marketing, while building a, financial freedom for my family, or through building financial freedom with my family. So if you don't feel like you have something mastered that you can teach people, it's okay, because people want to go through the struggle with you. They want to go through the crazy. I told her, I said, her social will probably grow faster by trying to show different ideas around packing food to go on the way to the games, and like the crazy socks laying around the house, and all the crazy chaos in the schedule, and maybe in a fight with her husband. I mean, those are real things that happen to real people on a daily basis. And sometimes I'd rather go through the struggle with people than going on the other end when they are the ones that have to fix me, if that makes sense. So I just want you to know it's okay if you are saying, I'm on a journey too. But if you feel like you're pretty confident in where you are, then say, I help people too. Okay, so that's your difference. So work on your niche, but don't let it distract you from working or posting. Just keep going. Social's messy. It's a messy thing. We're going to figure it out in the process, but we're not going to stop working in the process, right? Okay, so that's a little bit about niche. Let's talk about hashtags. So this is another one that's kind of interesting. Hashtags have kind of been crazy popular and then kind of meh, and now they're kind of coming back around. So the latest prediction from the CEO of Instagram, which is kind of interesting, he said hashtags are going to be a big deal for the next 2 years. But they operate very different. So per Meta, who owns Facebook and Instagram, you can grow an average of 12.6% by using one hashtag on social media. Let me take that back. One hashtag on Facebook. On Instagram, you can use up to 30 hashtags. Okay. So on Facebook, your one hashtag has to be within the post. Now, this is where my mind was blown. And this is from the CEO of Instagram. Your hashtags cannot be in your post on Instagram. They have to be in your first comment. So you do your post and then quickly go out and comment on your own post with all your hashtags. And that's where Instagram picks up all the followings and starts to manage your activity and stuff on your account. But again, it's in the first post. Bizarre. I've never heard that before in my whole life, but that's kind of the new thing. And I want to give you just an idea that you can utilize. If you have never gone to besthashtags.com/, okay, so it's HTTPS and then besthashtags.com/, you can take your post. So if let's say you're talking about, I don't know, maybe you're a dog mom and you're talking about best ways to keep your dog active. Type in keeping dogs active, and it will give you a list this long of the best hashtags to use for your dog. Okay, or mental wellness, or decorating for Christmas, which is what I talked about yesterday and had tons of comments on, right? Whatever that is. So I go to best hashtags every day, and that's what I'm using. And it will tell you, you don't want to do something that has multiple millions, like get rid of those. And you don't want to do something that has nothing, but you want to do something kind of mediocre or littleish so that people can search and find it. Oh my gosh, Jen, that cat is so adorable. I can't even. I've got 2 that are sitting in my door right over here, just like, please, mama, come touch me. Please, mama. Okay, so that's a little bit about hashtags. Does that make sense? Thumbs up on that? The besthashtags.com is gonna save you, because you'll figure it out and you'll see it. It's crazy awesome. Okay, a couple things on live video. Live video I thought was really interesting. The first class that I took this week, the gal that I was taking the class from talked about how she grew a team of 490,000 people in her downline. Okay, 490,000. She's one of the largest network marketing professionals out there. And she built it by doing one live video a week at the same time on the same day for 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, so she does it on I'm going to say this for those of you who are really familiar with social. If you're just getting started, just don't listen to this piece, because I don't want you to think you have to go set up a bunch of platforms in order to be successful, because you don't. But if you're broadcasting into more than one thing, like LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, all at one time, use the platform called StreamYard. You can set up StreamYard and it will broadcast into all three at one time simultaneously. So you don't have to worry about, going crazy and trying to hit this live and hit this live and oh crap. You can also store it on a YouTube page. So you can create a YouTube channel for yourself. And then every time you use StreamYard, it'll post into all of those platforms at one time. And there's no limit to the number of platforms that you can stream into, which is amazing. But again, if you're just getting started, y'all, just get used to going live. Just start there. Just start, and then you can always add on the other stuff later. I just set up StreamYard for myself, but haven't used it yet. So what I'm going to tell you is her live videos every week were something that she did two separate ones, technically, once her team got up and running. So I'm looking at people like me, Lindsay, Paige, right? We could be doing something into a team Facebook group every week, like a little mini training, same time, same place. That's kind of fun. But for all of us, we could be doing some kind of education or value add once a week that gets customers or potential customers excited about what we're sharing. Maybe it's what is dopamine? What is serotonin? Why would you not look? Why do you stay away from melatonin? Like just educational things, right? Could also be things on your niche, whatever creates your following. I really want to do one just on how you put together, sort of the strategy for your Christmas decorations in your home. I promise you, I had so many people yesterday, you guys, on this poll, more people than I've ever had in my whole life on anything about Christmas decorations. So the one thing in my class that she talked about was you can build on TikTok or in your lives about anything. It does not have to be anything to do with your company. It has to do with your passion, because that's what comes through. All you're doing is building audience so that later you can talk about your product and sell. But you're just trying to build a following right now. I think of so many people who, I think of Amanda Cooper, when she first started out on Instagram 10 years ago, she had no following, right? She's talking about random stuff. She wasn't talking about products. She was talking about her life. And that's what grew the following. But now when she talks about her product, because the following is so big, they're like, oh man, I love everything about her. I want to buy, if that makes sense. So just remember, it doesn't have to always be about our product. In fact, we almost never want it to be, like I said, 1 out of 9, right? Okay, let's see here. So a couple of other things on your live video. If you can get yourself into posting 1 time a week or doing a live video 1 time a week about whatever, there is a very specific strategy that helps boost your video and helps get more engagement. So here's the 3-day strategy to help boost that video and keep the engagement. Day 1, you're going to go live, and the only thing you're going to do is respond to every single comment that comes in, but you're not going to like or heart it. Okay, so don't touch the like or heart. That's for day 2. Day 1, you're just going to comment. Okay, so that's going to keep that live video at the top of the feeds everywhere you are. Day 2, you're going to go in and you're going to heart or like every comment. Again, boost it back up, right? And then day 3, you're just going to simply go in and do 1 post on the live video that says, thank you so much for your feedback. Thank you for your help. Thank you for your ideas, whatever it was that your video was about, but it's just a simple thank you. And that will keep that live video a little bit more live for 3 straight days versus just 1 straight day. I also was like, what? And does that blow your mind? Because that kind of blew my mind, you guys. I was like, oh, that's good. That's a good little tip, good little nugget. Okay, let's move from live videos to reels. And I've got quite a few things between reels and stories that I think will help you a ton. So a couple things in reels, and this is going to be the same for stories. You may agree or disagree. You also may have gotten results on using links in your stories, but I'm going to tell you that both social media experts recommended never, ever, ever putting a link in a story, and reels, they're not clickable anyway. but never putting a link in a story, which, listen, I violated that all year for 2 years. Have I gotten some enrollments on it? Yes. But both of them said, your idea is not to get people to click on a link and check out. It's to get them into a DM so you can have a conversation and build a relationship. Now, if you're a Lindsay Elmore, you probably can't do that. You probably have to set up something like ManyChat and have some auto responses happening because she's getting too many people into the DMs, but none of us are getting too many right now, right? Unless you're getting hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and you can't keep up with it. But our single job is to develop relationships so that we can build retention and customers and brand partners, right? So no links. So I'm like, this is interesting. She said the only exception would be is if you're running a sale, it's 1 out of your 10 posts and you have something specific you want them to click on. But she said, rarely, even when we have a sale, do I ever do that. Here's what she does instead. She says, like for us, it might be drop the word happy if you want more information and I'll get you the info. Instead of posting a link, you always say, drop the word X. And when you see the comment, then you're just going to go DM them the information, right? So I thought that was pretty good because a lot of people, I see tons and tons and tons of Amari people put multiple links in their stories. In addition to that, she said never to ever use a pre-built graphic in a story. I thought that was kind of interesting. And I know we're talking about Reels, but I'll come back to that on the story piece, okay? So in your Reels, here is your strategy. It's a 4-part strategy for your Reels. And remember, sales happen in the inbox. So all we're doing is trying to get engagement in these Reels, right? So number 1, you have to have a hook. So your hook is something, and you guys probably all know this, but your hook is just something that grabs attention, right? And it whatever that could be. So if you have trouble writing, a sassy hook, something that would get you excited, step back and think about who are you talking to? What would get them to listen or want to click on this and watch more? What would get you? If you look at Reels, what gets you to stop and scroll? Right? It's something that they say right away at the very beginning, or it's words on the screen, but some kind of hook. If you have a problem, go out to ChatGPT and say, write me 10 hooks for this type of a post. AI will write them for you, and then you can massage the words if you can't think of them. So just remember that. Don't get stuck on it because that sometimes hangs me up and I'm like, oh shoot, I got to think of a hook, right? You're a good writer. You are a good writer because you've been writing on Facebook for a long time, right? So you're better than you think you are. So think about that. So have a hook. Number 2, have a call to action. Okay. So again, it's drop this to get more info, or it might be hit the like and follow button for more. So it could be either one of those, right? And then number 3 is anytime on that one post that you're talking about happy juice or the kids calm, always use the word viral in front of it. So to know more about my viral happy juice, drop the word happy and I'll send you information, right? But using the word viral seems to be a big trend right now. So again, use the word viral for things like kids calm, happy juice, or whatever it is that floats your boat. You guys all, happy juice is basically viral everywhere. You can see it on every platform, which is super fun. And then the last thing I'll tell you, your 4-part strategy, and this is just a caution. She gave us a couple of examples of people who were doing amazing Reels, amazing, tons and tons and tons of views, but no sales. And what was happening is they were giving all the information in the Reel and not getting them into a DM to actually have a conversation. So for instance, one of the gals she showed us was doing recipes. She has a cooking show, she has a cookbook, she was doing recipes, but she gave the whole recipe on there instead of just showing her mixing it all up and talking about what she's using. But then she switched and said, drop the word recipe and I'll send you the exact measurements for everything. Exploded. 20,000 people overnight. So again, don't give them everything, right? So just think about that. So it's have a hook, have a call to action, use the word viral in front of your products for your 1 out of 10 posts or 1 out of 10 conversations around our product, and then don't give them all the info. Just remember, Facebook prioritizes Reels over your posts. So 77% of people are going to be watching Reels and stories and things like that. And about 23% are going to be watching the posts. But remember, stories disappear. Reels and posts are forever. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. Okay. Another couple of tips on Reels. I'm going to give you some types of Reels that you can do. So it'll give you some memory joggers or some thought joggers a little bit, but also one thing to think about. She said that she does subtle expressions to sell rather than hardcore selling unless there is a sale. So for instance, she sells a skincare product. So for Halloween, she put on their facial mask and did a funny reel around wearing a mask for Halloween or something. She was holding her product, but she never talked about it. Never talked about the brand, never talked about anything, literally holding it and just doing something funny about it. So you could do something with like, you know, laying in bed and just looking at the ceiling and you can't sleep and, you know, whatever. And you're holding your bottle of sleep or you're holding your bottle of calm or whatever. You could do something so funny, like all kinds of different things like that. So she said subtle expressions sometimes will sell more, but here are the types of reels that she recommended. The first one is lifestyle reels. So look at the trending reels, do something kind of fun there, but lifestyle reels, anything around your house, your life, your kids, your family, your whatever. Second one is fun features. So any fun features on anything, could be anything, doesn't matter. So you can feature anything, but something kind of fun, something niche related. So something that speaks to your audience, an experience reel. So things like travel. So what are you experiencing in life because of your decisions, right? So travel is a good one. Inspirational, so it could be a quote, could be anything like that. And the last one is teaching tips or really a value add around the ingredients in your product or whatever. So you're educating. So it's lifestyle, fun features, niche related, experience reels, inspiration, and teaching tips. Everybody thumbs up? Okay, last one is stories. And this one is probably my favorite, only because I love stories a lot, but that's because I need to get on TikTok. Okay, so we talked about 77% of people will watch a story more than a post, but remember, stories go away and posts stay. Okay, stories are not going to be something that grows your audience. It only nurtures the audience that you have. So remember that you are not going to grow based on a story. You're only going to grow on a post or a reel. So if you want growth, which is what you're trying to pick up, your reels are probably going to be your highest engagement level, but just this is for stories only. So here's what is not working right now. This is per the CEO of Instagram and through the people that I learned from this weekend. Posting 8 times a day is no longer working. Okay. Posting all throughout the day, night, morning, anytime, also not working. Posting back-to-back days is not working. Okay, and posting boring content that no one cares about is not working. It used to be that you could just post a picture of your dinner and people would be super excited about that when social was in the early days. It's no longer that. If you're going to post a picture, you're going to have to talk about the recipe, right? You have to have more of an intent when you're doing your social media. So what is working is less is more and intention wins. So let's talk through that. The strategy for your stories should be that you post every other day. And the reason for that is because you'll notice, like if I show up on, let's say Monday, and I post a series of stories, let's say I post 3 to 5 stories, my first 3 probably have the highest engagement, tails off at the end. What happens if I have 24 stories? How much engagement do I have on the 24th story? Nothing. And you might have had your most important thing on the 24th story because it's what hit your heart during the day. So think through your stories, right? So we're going to post every other day, let your stories run out, give it a 24-hour break. And then the next day you're going to come in with another set of stories. People are going to see it and they're going to want to watch. You're going to notice your engagement on your story days is going to go through the ceiling. I've been practicing that for about 3-4 days. And you guys, my engagement was up 2,800% yesterday. Crazy, right? That's crazy. So here's the scoop. Again, every other day, a series of 3 to 5 stories is all you need. 3 at the least, 5 at the most. Okay, nothing over that. How many of you, when you get on stories and you see, you start watching them, right? And pretty soon you start looking at all the dashes across the screen and you can see, holy crap, they must have 25, 30 dashes. How many of you watch all 30 of those? Anyone? Never. I am on to the next person. Like, let me see what they've got that's exciting, right? And so just remember that all that content that you're spending time putting on Instagram, no one is watching it. So 3 to 5 is going to keep your engagement at the highest. Okay. Here is the strategy for your 3 series, your 3 posts. This was powerful to me. So over the weekend, the very first one should always be an impact picture. So I'll describe that and then I'm going to give you a little tip. So the impact picture is something that stops people, right? Most of it's you for sure. You and someone, you doing something, you being with people, right? Could be anything. So he gave a really good example. Now, keep in mind, these guys work out all the time. He's ripped, she's ripped, whatever. But he had a picture of them on the beach in Turks and Caicos. I cannot remember what the caption was, but he said, literally, if you put 2 sentences on that picture, it's too many. You need a 1-sentence little short caption. Less is more on that first picture. What you're trying to get them to see is the picture, right? It stops them and makes them want to watch. So a high impact picture. So here's a side note. At night, when you're not posting, you're not working, you're not calling anybody, in your downtime, when you're sitting on the couch watching TV with your husband and he's watching football and you don't care, go through your phone, create an album in your camera, and go through all your pictures as you can and put all your high impact pictures in your folder. It does not matter if they're 8 years old. You can use them anytime, any place, use those as your high impact picture so that when you're in your work time, you can just go to your folder and go, oh, here's a good one. This is totally what I want to talk about today. I'm going to use this picture. Okay. So that's just a quick little tip. I thought that was really, really smart. He was saying he was scrolling through 35,000 pictures. It took him 2 days to get through those and pick out all his high impact. But once he had it, he had it. And he goes, and now he goes, I just put them in my folder, you know, as I take them going forward. So it could be something like, you know, cuddling up with your kiddo and a puppy and reading a bedtime story. That's a high impact picture. It could be traveling. That's a high impact picture. It could be experiencing something new. That's a high impact picture, right? So whatever. Okay. The second post or story slide is a poll of some kind. Okay. Now, this is where you have to play around with this a little bit because you'll notice some of your polls get 0 engagement and some of them get a lot of engagement. So how he kind of phrases it is, I just helped a friend with XYZ. Would you like to know about it? So a lot of things like, hey, I just shared with a friend of mine how to lose 6 pounds before the holidays or 10 pounds before the holidays. Would you like to know? Would you like more information? Would you like to hear about it? Yes or no? So those are really good ways to get engagement on a poll. He did say that, look, if you're not getting any engagement on your poll, it's because your audience doesn't care about what you're asking. So change the poll, right? You're gonna have to play around with it, watch what kind of engagement you get. He said, if you get 5 people engaged, it's 5 more people than you had engaged yesterday. So don't get down on yourself if it's 2, 3, 4, or 5, and then just watch the engagement go up, right? Now, sometimes you may have to play around, but I mean, he pretty much has a poll in his stories almost every day when I look at it. So, you know, play with it. Maybe some days you don't do a story, but generally he said the second slide is a poll. The third slide is what he calls social proof. So if you're talking about something or you want to show people, like for me, I was talking yesterday about, so I had him kind of coach me through this. I said, okay, well, I want to do a poll on holiday decorating because of course everyone thinks it's sacrilegious to do it before Halloween. But I put my Christmas up Halloween weekend because I travel all of November. So listen, when I'm talking about that on stories, right, not only am I talking about putting my Christmas decorations up, I'm talking about the fact that I travel all the time. So it's a subtle hint for the business, right? But then I said, okay, well, what's social proof? And he goes, well, social proof is either a walkthrough of your Christmas decorations. It's could be where you purchase your Christmas tree. So that's what I did. I did King of Christmas. Oh my God, I had so many influencers text me yesterday about the freaking site King of Christmas. Who knew, right? But I got that from an influencer. So whatever your social proof is, it could be a testimonial about your products or just not even about the brand of your products, but just how much you've helped them as a mental wellness coach, right? So anything like that. And then 4 and 5 could be at anything you want. Up to 5, no less than 3. Does that make sense? Okay, awesome. All right, so with that being said, here are some ideas that you can use to put in your post. There's, I think, 6 or 7 maybe. So the first one we talked about was polls. Another thing would be a favorite thing. So like Friday favorites. What are some of the other products that you use that you love? You guys, it's not that you have to have an affiliate link. I try to not put stuff in there that has an affiliate link because because I'm a residential diamond, but B, because I don't want to sidetrack my audience. But you can put other links in there, whatever, or, you know, DM me for information. I just straight said yesterday, look, I'm not affiliated with King of Christmas, but I want you to know, go check out their stuff because it's awesome. Now, do you want to know what happened to me yesterday? King of Christmas reached out. I just said, thank you for promoting. And if you'd ever be interested in promoting these products, let me know. So, you know, I didn't respond back, but I'm just saying it's interesting how quickly when you share something and then they shared it on their Instagram profile. So funny, right? So anyway, so your favorite things behind the scenes, what's happening? What's a day in the life of Paige Champagne look like? What's happening around the house? playing with grandbabies, right? Hanging out with your hubby, going out for dinner, going traveling, whatever that looks like. Your hobbies. So what do you love to do? So this kind of goes back to your 4 buckets that you talk about on social media. What are your 4 or 5 big things? You know, you've got you and your story and your mental wellness story and your family and life, but what are your other 3 or 4 things that you are passionate enough to talk about that will give you content? So what are your hobbies? What's a special hack that you've learned? Like, what's a health food hack? What's a bedtime sleep routine hack? What kind of hack can you think of that might be kind of cool to share? Quotes is another one, which we talked about, inspirational. And then last one is the subtle selling. So wherever you can, you know, hold up your product, you see a lot of people mix up happy juice but never talk about it. They're just talking about life, but they're mixing up happy juice. So it's another way to do it, right? It's just subtle in the background, and they go from there. So with all that being said, does anybody have any questions, thoughts? I mean, that is kind of what I got from 7 days of intensive social media training.
Okay, I
Oh
have a
my gosh,
question
Sarah.
about social
Oh.
proof. Oh, sorry. Is that
Yeah.
Courtney talking? Courtney and I will talk over. We can't even teach a class of anything together because we're going to confuse everybody and they're going to hate us. Hold on one second, Court. So social proof. Go over that one more time with me because I have done everything wrong on social media. I don't even know how far I am because I guess people just like me. So I think, oh my gosh, could you imagine how much impact I could have if I did this correctly?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay. So social proof is interesting. And Linz, you chime in if you've got any feedback on this, but what he talked about, how he showed it was that he had a picture of him and his wife on the beach. The next one was a poll about something completely unrelated. And the third one, social proof, was a testimonial about his coaching program. So he basically just screenshotted the information and said, I love when my customers give me 5-star reviews. That was it. It was nothing. There was no call to action on the screen, no nothing, but that's what it was. He said it doesn't have to be about what you do, but it can be. So I don't know, Liz, if you've got any other feedback on that, but that's what he talked about.
Well, I think one of the first things is you have to talk about like what is it on social media. And so if you think about like what is social proof, that is where you say I do this and people do it because you say so. And it's an older term that is based on the 6 principles of persuasion. Mm-hmm. And so what you need to do is just get out there and say, hey, I'm doing these things. Like for me, I tell people all the time, hey, when I first started using Amari's products, I can't tell you it's going to happen to you, but I lost 6 pounds in a week. And most of it was just from cortisol. And I also love the idea of, you know, if you're trying to attract business builders and say like, hey, I just got my focus on 5. That means that, you know, I'm going to get this $500. So-and-so is going to get the $500. How would $500 make a difference in your life? And so you can do case studies. You can talk about like, hey, we tried this new thing and here's how it went. You can do testimonials. As you mentioned, you can do reviews. And then,
so Linz,
you know,
would it be like kind of like, and I'm adding this pen because I'm going to prove a point.
mm-hmm.
Would it be like me taking a picture of this and then posting it and saying I work with some incredible leaders? Smile, Lindsay. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I work with some incredible powerhouse leaders. Would you love to find out more about our community?
Yes, totally. 100%.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely. And, you know, Paige, you can also talk about like, I've worked at a lot of companies and the leadership is different here for these reasons. And people on my team have told me these things that have made a difference in our ability to grow. And so, yeah, all of that would work. But I love the idea of always posting a picture of all of us on these calls because one reason that people come to this industry is for community. They just want to hang out.
And primarily our company, because I feel like our leaders are different. It's just, you guys all know, most of you came from somewhere else. It's different here. It's just straight different.
I know. When you say that, we're like, yeah, we're like, oh, I hate to say that, but it's so true. I mean,
so true.
Incredible.
Yeah. Okay. So I hope that gives some good ideas. Thank you, Linz. That was great.
I just want to say thank you so much because I feel that not only myself, but everybody's struggling with social media and they feel super defeated. And with this was just so much good intake. So where we can all revamp ourselves and start completely over with the same platform. Oh my goodness, I am so stoked not to post on my stories today.
Well, that's what my question was going to be. I mean, it's the end of the month. Now you're telling all my girls to stop posting.
Well, no, you post, right? Either you're posting or you're putting in your stories. You're still doing something every day. You're still connecting on social every day. It's just a different format. But listen, it's end of the month. Post in your stories. I mean, but then on the first, start your new routine. I mean, you can adjust it. It's not going to be, it's not definite. It's not set in stone. But typically, I feel like it's a pretty good rhythm, and you will see the difference. I mean, I definitely saw that. I didn't believe him. I'm just going to tell you straight up. Amanda and I sat at the table, and both of us said, that's BS. Until we tried it, and then he was right. I was like, oh, damn.
Well, it
That
makes
is
complete
right.
sense. It makes complete sense because, like we can all post so much, but just like you said, Sarah, the first couple of posts, like, let's be real, I have some thousand something followers, but mine only get 100 or less. And then the more you go down, it's like 10, 20, and it's the same people. So now it's gonna, since we're changing up our ways, it's going to intrigue them. Well, why isn't Sarah posting? Why isn't Debbie posting? Like, what's going on? Is something okay? And then we come out on November 1st with like a boom, bang, like, get in my DMs,
It's because I'm becoming a TikTok star.
Woo! Oh, Debbie. So he did say, like, look at the numbers of engagement that you have. Likely it's around 10% of your total audience that you might get some kind of something. So Courtney, if you've got 1,000 and you've got 100 people like watching stories, that's about right. But your goal should be 30%. How do you increase it from 10 to 30? And it is all about the content, right? It's the strategy and the content behind it. So it definitely gave all of us food for thought. That was the best thing that I paid for this weekend. The best was just that one session.
Another
And the
thing to
best
add
thing that
is
ever happened to my life is joining you guys and how much you guys share. And that is why my team, my people that I just brought, that is why we're all gonna thrive here. And I just thank you all. This again changed our lives because this is just mind-blowing.
That's awesome.
That's awesome, Deb. Another thing, when people get defeated and they're like, I just don't know what to post, I totally agree with what Sarah said earlier, which is just post that. Like, I'm feeling stuck, so just post that. And I also love when people get into polls and do like a would you rather. Do you want to see me post content about this or about that, about this or about that? And that will give you that direct feedback from your audience about here's what they're actually interested in. Because Helen, if you're doing polls and nobody's responding to them, it's because you're asking a question that they just don't care about, and so you can say, here's who I am, here's my skills, here's what I can bring to the table. Would you rather me do it this way or that way? And my friend Chloe, she was going through a rebrand after she got her PharmD, and she not only asked, what content do you want? She also asked, how do you want it? Is it in stories? Is it in reels? Is it in posts? Is it in long form written stuff? Is it in slides where you're using Canva to make some graphics? And so you can ask not only what do you want, but how do you want it delivered, right? It's that same thing that we do when we bring on new people and are onboarding them. Like, how do you want to be spoken to? Do you want me to text you, email you, call you, voice memo you, whatever, and where? For goodness sakes.
You can even ask one basic one. You're going to know the answer to this, but it could be a way to get people engaged. Like, where do you consume most of your content when you search social media? Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I mean, easy. I mean, you just start there. I mean, do something that like, oh, that's easy. Well, I'm totally going to tell her this. Or again, like, I'll go back to decorating only because one of the things that I love is making a house a home, right? That's one of my passions. So when I think about decorating, do you decorate before Halloween, after Halloween, or after Thanksgiving for Christmas? People are, they're going to definitely click on that because people have a very strong opinion about it, as I look at my Christmas trees right here through my window.
I decorate. So when people come over my house for Thanksgiving, it's Christmas here.
Yes, of course.
I just wait a little longer, but yeah.
Well, if I was home more in November, life would be good.
I have a quick question. A lot of us tag each other in post for stuff, should that happen, so that it shows up on everybody's post? That's one question. And then another is the rank graphics that we are posting right now to get some people FOMO. Should we be posting that in our stories, or should we make reels out of that?
I mean, I think stories are fine for rank recognition, and I think it's a piece of inspiration, right? I mean, that inspires people to want to join your team. Linz, you pipe up on this, but everything I've heard about tagging people is probably not. And the reason is that it's not about getting the people you know already to be on your post. It's about getting other people to be on your posts. So I don't know, your thoughts?
I don't think tagging is always necessary, and certainly not in stories. And I want to highlight what Courtney did. I think it was yesterday or maybe the day before. Instead of posting like a team graphic about, hey, here's somebody that got focus on 5, because unless somebody already has awareness of what Amare is, how our comp plan works, and why they should care, they don't give a fuck what focus on 5 is. But what Courtney did was she got in and she said, I got to give a shout out to my girl Shelly. You know, she has been here using products that I love, that, you know, I talk about. She's gotten 5 people to come along with her and make it personal, make it really, really personal about, this is someone I care about, and this is how we work together, right? Because Courtney can tell me a story about Shelly being successful, and I don't have to know Amare, I don't have to know our products, and I don't have to know our comp plan, and I don't have to know what Focus on 5 is. But Courtney's going to tell me, Shelly came on board, she brought 5 friends with her, and now Shelly's going to take home a $500 paycheck at the end of this month, right? And so you can make it more personal versus, like Sarah said earlier, don't post pre-made graphics in your stories.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
I was going to talk about that. They were talking about the fact that just literally kills your algorithm. So I see, like, Amanda and I have had lots of conversations about this because a lot of her team posts it. But I said, I'll bet you $9 million you're not getting enrollments from that. I just don't think you do, because, and most of the time people put such tiny words on their graphics that unless you screenshot it, you can't read it anyway. So just remember that what Meta wants you to do is produce your own content. So the best thing you could do is take a photo of Happy Juice and then put your own words on it, right? Rather than doing a pre-made graphic of, here's a wellness pack. Like, I don't know how many of you guys have gotten enrollments off of that, but I probably haven't gotten a single one off of a pre-made graphic, and I've used them a lot, and I'm not going to use them going forward, but just some thoughts. But I love that idea. Courtney, I think, did she say it was you that did that, where you got into your stories? That actually fires me up, because I've thought about it so many times where I've had people say, why don't you put your team's recognition in your Instagram stories? And I always say, it's irrelevant. People don't even know what, they don't, but if I got in and said, look, I got to tell you guys about my girl, Courtney. You know what? She was scared to try affiliate marketing, never thought she could do it, found a product that she loved, and she's been able to help 5 additional people. And today we're celebrating her because she's earned her first $500 bonus. I bet you I'd get enrollments off of that. So that's a really good idea. I love that so much. So thank you. That was worth my call today, guys. I got some training. I love it.
Okay, guys. Well, thank you. Thank you, Linz, for popping on. Thank you, Sarah, for always supporting us in this way. We appreciate it. And for everyone else, I am going to have this recording. I'm going to put it on YouTube. I'll send it out as the link. And yeah.
Love it. You guys,
Sarah, that was epic. Thank you so much.
Hey, you guys are amazing. I'm so proud of this team and so excited to partner with you guys. And I cannot wait to celebrate you at the next event. So run like crazy so that you can be in Greece. Run like crazy so that you can be at Leadership with us in January. And just remember, keep showing up the way you are. Consistency matters.
It does. Thank you, guys. Have a great one.
Bye, y'all. Close lunch. Let's do it.
Bye.